In today's edition of Torch TV, we talk about the tragedy that was the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in the beginning of cleanup.
We also look back on the phenomenon that was a total solar eclipse that passed right over our heads.
Women basketball superstar Caitlin Clark was recently drafted by the Indiana Fever. We look at the impact she'll have on the community and women's basketball as a whole.
All that and more on Torch TV.
Welcome back to Torch TV. I'm Hubbard, and with me is Crispin and Meredith. How you doing today, Crispin?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Are you going to prom this year?
I already got my tickets.
That's good. This year, prom will be taking place on May 4th from 9 to 12 at the Commons. The theme this year is May the 4th be with you. The colors are gold, black, silver, cream, white, and other neutrals. Tickets are available until May 2nd in the bookstore for $22 each. You must have your school ID to purchase your ticket, as well as getting into prom. You must register a guest by filling out a form that you can get in the bookstore and turn it into your team office. The prom parade will begin at 7 p.m. You must have your parade pass that you received when you purchased your ticket. For more information on arrival or bringing guests, please visit bcscprom.com. Applications for Bartholomew County 4-H Fair Queen are officially open. East students have had great success over this year's competition, including last year as a current queen is an East graduate. The Fair Queen competition is open to anyone 16 years or older, and will be held on June 8th in the Columbus East Auditorium.
Earlier this month, Jackie Jones was named the Columbus East Classified Employee of the Year. Ms. Jones is the Senior Project Coordinator and has shown a tremendous amount of support and dedication to the senior class as she guides them through the big steps towards graduation. Her compassion and positivity makes her a great choice for this award. Thank you and congratulations to Ms. Jones.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for a very special event as we have our inaugural Future Educator Signing Day. Extremely exciting,
Yesterday, BCLC held its first ever Future Educator Signing Day. This was held in the East Auditorium, with the idea being that those pursuing a career in education get the same recognition and fanfare that athletes do when they sign their letters of intent. Dr. Roberts and Dr. Pleak both spoke at the event with 14 students declaring either primary or secondary education as their major in college. And now to Kylie Best with recent news.
In international news, for almost 2 years now, Russia and Ukraine have been in a stalemate war, with Russia attacking scattered zones around the border of Ukraine. But recently, Russian attacks have been with a sheer amount of force and on limited targets, producing more stress among the people. One of the most recent targets is an energy research center based in Kiev. This attack resulted in close to 1 million homes without electricity. Strikes have continued to be focused on power stations across the country. On top of attack patterns changing, the U.S. has signed a $61 billion military aid package. This package should be a great help in slowing and even pushing back the Russian army advances. For U.S. news, the largest crane on the East Coast has been brought to help clear the debris from the Francis Scott Key Bridge. In addition, the ship itself, the Dolly, has been boarded by the FBI and is currently being investigated. On a brighter note, today marked the first shipments into the port of Baltimore since the accident. In local news, 2 years ago, Warsaw, Michigan City, and Seymour were chosen to participate in an economic investment. Seymour recently had a conference meeting where some of the communities shared their dislike of the new Burkhart Opportunity Zone project.
Community-centered economic inclusion is what the CCEI stands for.
The CCEI project was basically an economic development obligation that we took forth upon the coalition advisory here throughout multiple members of the community.
So CCEI identifies through focus groups, through community leaders, trying to get all the way across the board that everybody is involved in the process. You're not just talking to the old tried and true leaders, if you will, the mayors, the whoever's. You're talking to high school students. One of our focus groups was the Mayor's Youth Council and JAG out at Seymour High School.
When it came down to the actual project leadings, I think people might have misunderstood certain projects in that.
The drugs are flowing in here. The cartel's in Jackson County so deep, the cops can't do nothing about it.
We do not need this. in Seymour or Jackson County, Indiana. Not at all.
So right now, Seymour City Council has put the kibosh on everything. There's, nothing will move forward at the moment until they go back and decide to change some things, decide to reword their resolution that they proposed.
After the break, we explore the culinary class here at East.
And against all advice, we'll glaze into the solar eclipse.
That and more coming up.
Why is he by himself? Does he not have friends or something?
Hey, don't say that. That's not nice. Maybe we should invite him to lunch.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, did you want to come to lunch with me and a couple friends? We'll drive.
Me?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
Do you have a lanyard? You don't have one? Didn't have a lanyard. It's not gonna look good.
Everyone agrees that food is essential to life, so learning to cook can be super beneficial for when you're on your own. That's why here at East, we offer a culinary class for those who want to learn the ways of the kitchen.
I would recommend this class for someone to learn how to cook, so when you get in the outside world, you won't be starving.
I think the best part of taking culinary is what we learn with how oil works, like olive oil, not putting it in hot pans. Also working with a team, working with the culinary chef, head chef, second chef, cleaning crew, all that. It's a lot of teamwork, and I find it really fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, I would recommend this class to other people just because it's a unique experience. You get to cook a variety of different foods and stuff.
You guys live in a time where it's really easy. You have DoorDash. People bring you food and you just drive through and it's 2 or 3 minutes and you're through with your fast food. But it's really pretty unhealthy, even at restaurants that we think are healthier, to eat out because there's lots of sodium, there's extra sugar, and usually there's a lot of extra things in there that aren't healthy for us.
Prom is this weekend. Let's head over to Crowsville Junior Johannes Santos with a look at what Mother Nature has in store for us on Saturday.
Thanklands. From prom night on Saturday starting at 6, the temperature will be 77 with a 40% chance of rain and also a 40% chance of thunder. Then around when prom starts up at night, it will be 72 degrees still with a 40% chance of rain and thunder. Then at the end of prom, it will be 66 degrees with a 40% chance of rain and thunder still persisting. So on your way to and from Saturday, please be cautionary and slip roads.
April 8th, 2024, there was a total solar eclipse, something that only happens every 20 years. Who better to tell us about this phenomenon than a NASA scientist? Here is sophomore Macy Leffler with more.
Some kids when they are younger want to work for NASA, be an astronaut, do all of that. But most don't stick with it due to all the expenses. But Dr. Jacob Richardson's did stick through with it. And here he is to talk about this year's solar eclipse.
I started working at NASA in 2016 after I got my PhD. So I'm a planetary geologist, so I study how planets have changed geologically and evolved over long periods of time. I get to study volcanoes a lot, and I also figure out how we're going to explore the solar system, especially the south pole of the moon, when we go back and are able to do field geology on another planetary surface like the one at the south pole of the moon. I think I've always been into space a little bit. When I was growing up, I definitely had posters of Mars or of other planets around my bedroom, along with other posters. But I've always been into space a little bit, and when I went to college, I realized that you could get a job as a geologist. And then I realized that you could get a job as a planetary geologist. So it was when I discovered that I discovered I wanted to do this professionally. An eclipse is when two objects in space overlap and create a shadow from the sun. So Monday, April 8th, there's going to be a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is when the moon and the earth and the sun are all in a line and the moon is in the middle.
Every 20 years there is a total eclipse. Here's some advice from Dr. Jacob Richardson.
I've been thinking about is that if we look at the solar eclipse and we're too preoccupied by making really specific observations or taking photographs, sometimes those 3 minutes can go by really quick. So enjoy it, listen to nature, and if it's not too cloudy outside, explore the sky when it's safe to do it. And number one is wear eclipse goggles.
Crothersville held their first ever art show to showcase the talent of their program. When we return, we'll learn how that went.
Acknowledge a record-breaking WNBA #1 draft pick.
That and esports after the break.
Listen guys, if there was one lesson you had to pay attention to this year, it's this one. So we learned from the modern contemporary romantics that again, your phone? Are you kidding me? You're gonna fail this test. You could be doing so much better.
A revived art program at Crothersville Community Schools hosted a school-wide art show to showcase to the public. This was also the first art show Crothersville has ever hosted during school's opening.
We've never had one. So, and if we have, it's really a long time ago, but for the elementary, we've never had one.
It was the first art show like that we've done, and I think it was so special because the kids haven't had an opportunity like that before to show their art to the public, which is, you know, when I was that age, I would have loved to have the opportunity.
And these guys have worked really hard. They've learned from the very beginning of taking scissors and glue and putting them together correctly to what you see with painting or even development. One of the things that I work with is helping them realize what they have around them. So we recycle, upcycle, a lot of things that they can take trash to make it into a treasure.
And now to Seymour's junior Haley Brewer with recent sports and competitions.
The women's college basketball superstar, Caitlin Clark from the University of Iowa, has just been drafted to the Indiana Fever by first pick in the WNBA draft. She is predicted to bring many opportunities and benefits to the team, and the staff as well as the fans are thrilled.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
The Fever have already benefited tremendously from having the #1 pick this year. For example, yesterday it was just announced that we're going to have 36 national televised games out of our 40 games. And last year the Fever had 1. So definitely already can see an impact there. Also can see an impact on our sales. Our ticket sales department is absolutely thriving right now. I think that we all have seen what certain players and how women's basketball has really soared this past season. I think that it's also going to continue on into the league. Right now, college basketball has been high viewers. Everyone's been excited to watch college basketball. So I think once these certain players move into the W, the same excitement is going to continue to there, when the W's normally not had as much of the shine that the NBA has gotten. There's great women in the W that sometimes just, don't get the recognition. So having the #1 pick has already tremendously helped the Fever.
Women's basketball hasn't always gotten the recognition that they deserve, but recently this has been changing. Caitlin Clark getting drafted to the Fever will hopefully change this even more. The WNBA season starts May 14th. Don't forget to watch those fantastic women this year. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, the Edinburgh baseball team started 3-0. The Lancers have already surpassed their win total of the previous season. A fully healthy returning roster along with a key transfer have proved to be astronomical for Edinburgh.
A lot of the guys that we had last year were freshmen and sophomores having their first varsity experience. And now they've had a year to improve, build on that, find things that they need to get better at, and they've improved at those things, and I think that's really paid dividends for us so far.
We got a pickup of Aiden, that's really helping us, especially in the 4-hole spot. He's hitting pretty hard.
I'd say everyone's taking everything more serious this year. Last year we were just all fun and games, we didn't really love to win.
The now 10-5-1 Lancers play their next game at Mid-Hoosier Conference rival South Decatur tonight at 5. Last week, varsity baseball defeated Bedford North Lawrence with an intense 7th inning comeback, final score being 6-5. And over the weekend, boys golf placed second at the B&L tournament. Congrats to all those Olympian athletes. Tonight, both JV and varsity softball plays Connorsville High School. Varsity starts at 6 p.m. and JV will follow at 8. Varsity baseball plays Columbus North at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, boys varsity golf plays in the 50th annual Bloomington North Golf Invite at 8:30. And finally, the JV baseball takes on Ben Davis High School at 10 a.m. Make sure you go support your O's. Lance, back to you.
That's all we have for today, but before we leave, we need to brag just a little bit. On Friday, Torch TV won its 2nd consecutive Cardinal Award from the Ball State High School Media Awards. The Cardinal Award is judged on overall production, graphics, content, and delivery of a student news broadcast. From me and Crispin and the entire award-winning crew of Torch TV, thanks for watching. Remember to take care of yourself, others, and the place, and as always, try to be the best part of someone's day.